don't know about you, but I feel good. I don't know about you, but I feel good. I'm 2+2, I'm for show. You down, I'm down, baby, let's go. You stop, you drop, better than roll. You twerk, you pop, booty so swole. I'd hate me too if I were you. And when it comes to billions, I'll take two. It's only one life, you don't get two. So live life, don't let it live you.
I got a pocket full of $100 bills. Put on a jacket, cause these diamonds give you chills. 2 shots I'm running, 2 out I'm starting tonight. Yeah. Look in the mirror, I'm like, who the hell is he? So many whips and cribs, I'm losing track of keys. Ooh, up to something. Ooh, yeah, I feel right.
Yeah, I'm drinking out the bottle. Get loose, hanging with supermodels. Get loose, feel like I hit the lotto. I don't know about you, but I feel good. I don't know about you, but I feel good.
Welcome to Politics with the Princess. You can put this in that seat and sit over here. You are watching us live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. On WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world.
Hey, Roger.
The coolest station in the world. And shout out to Roger.
Hey, Roger.
Hey, Roger. So, you guys can go to WJZZ Cool TV. We should be on there now. We are not live on Facebook, you guys. We are live on YouTube right now. It should already be there. Let's see. WJZZ Cool TV. I am Tashana. Hey, D. They had to be fashionably late. Right? They was like, we got to be fashionably late. Let me go in and make sure it's there. So, welcome again to Politics with the Princess on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. You can watch us live on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter. Today, we are just talking all politics. All politics today, right? All politics and nothing else, right?
Sounds
That's what
good
we're
to
doing.
me.
So we got the great D Pearl. D, you want to introduce yourself and tell the people where you're from? You got to turn the phone down.
Yeah, I probably did.
You got to turn the phone down. On the side is the volume. D, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is D Pearl, and I am the founder of Pearl Smart Preschools. And I'm just joining the conversation for another week.
You going to talk about politics? Now you can last week you was just, you was fucked up. You was like,
I didn't know what was going on last week.
Nobody knew what was going on. Okay. We also have, I don't even know. I'm just so honored that I'm sitting next to this boy right here.
Don't even start.
It is an honor, like.
No.
Y'all.
No, it's not.
I don't know what the call. I don't even know. King of Michigan right now.
No.
What? Introduce. I don't even know. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jaron Totten. I professionally serve as social justice engineer at LGBT Detroit. We're North America's largest African-American founded and led LGBT nonprofit. And there I lead 5 programs. Hotter Than July, which is Detroit Black Pride. Cold as Hell is a winter pride event. Pride Decides is our voter engagement, voter outreach program. Brother to Brother is an HIV intervention and prevention program. Takes the form of a video podcast, and D-Up is another HIV intervention and prevention program that we do in partnership with Community Health Awareness Group.
I mean, what can you? He's like, I don't even know what to say. Should we say the king, the prince of politics in Michigan? But it's not just politics. It's what? It's everything, right?
Yeah. We just organize.
I don't know what to say. And then up in front of me we have
Tracy Pease, and I am with Supermajority and a number of different organizations, and all ready to talk about politics with the princess.
Yes.
I know, y'all ready? Yes. So first we got to give like some good, nice news to the people. Does anybody have anything positive that we want to send out to people that may help them today? Anything? I don't have anything.
I'm looking at D. I'm looking at D.
Be strong. Like what?
We
What?
try-
I want what? You gotta have something. You probably got something about.
I mean,
what?
well, true to Detroit form, like we had a lot of.
Not about politics yet.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. True to Detroit form, we had a lot of organizations, you know, making contact with voters, making sure voters knew, you know, filling in the gap, making sure people know when, where, and how to vote. And so that was encouraging. That was very positive. But I mean, that's how it is in this area. You have multiple organizations that do the work, and so that's something positive to look at.
I want to tell people, like I think I posted about the power of belief on Facebook, and I think, and just as when you running if you're running for office, I think you need to just believe in yourself. I think the most important thing ever is your belief in self.
Absolutely.
And I think I put on there, if others believe in you, that's great. That's wonderful. That's fantastic. But if you do not believe in yourself, you already done counted yourself out. So I want people today, this Friday, to go into this weekend. You say you believe in yourself. Start looking in the mirror and claim that you believe in yourself. Because you have to love yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Know yourself. Love yourself. I would say analyze yourself. And, work on self first before you start looking for other people to praise you and all. Because all that stuff is fake. When the praise, I ignore all praise and recognition. All praise and criticism. You ignore it. Like, I really ignore the praise. It's weird, ain't it? You have to, because you have to just know yourself and know when it's good enough for you, or, it's just a tricky thing. But you have to know the power of self, the belief in self, and all that good stuff before you can do anything else. So that's what I would say. Anything else? Y'all ready to get to politics? Y'all ready? Y'all like, let's go.
All I have to say is, hey, did you wake up this morning?
That's right.
Because today's a brand new day.
Gratitude.
A brand new day.
Gratitude.
And if you don't get it right today, guess what? You wake up tomorrow, hopefully, and you'll do it all over again.
She said hopefully. But yeah, gratitude is very important.
Gratitude is very important.
Yeah, I would say that in taking a look at yourself, as you're talking about believing in yourself, but you also need to
take a look.
Take a look at yourself.
Yeah.
A deep look. I mean, when I say take a look, what do you like about yourself? What don't you like? But learn to deal with it. Not, I don't like this about myself, so I hate myself. You really have to, I know I'm a fucking control freak. You gotta know yourself. You gotta know your limits. You gotta know what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. You gotta know your point. You gotta know not when and not how to compromise yourself when before you lose yourself. Order to be successful in anything is a study of self first. If you got a fucked up self, you're not about to really be successful for too long. You know what I'm saying? It's inner first, and then all of that reflects outer.
And always remember where you came from and who helped you get to where you are today.
Right.
Even if you don't get along with them in this moment.
Yep.
Always remember who got you where and who did what for you. And even if y'all not best friends, always be willing to say what is good about somebody else. I think that's like a grace thing. Everybody can't do that. They be like, I hate that bitch, so I ain't about to say that she good at nothing. That's the stupidest thing in the world. That's a self problem. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It goes back to self. So any more spiritual stuff y'all wanna lay on these people? We gotta give them something before we give them. What went down Tuesday.
I think that covers it. We talked about what we're grateful for. We talked about,
I'm always grateful.
Yeah.
Gratitude is very important to me. Grace, I practice grace. I have to practice grace every day. Because I'll go off on somebody because they did something, then I got to go back and be like, oh, that's not grace.
Well, that was where I was going to go. That's what I was saying, like, checking out yourself. Like, you can't, you might be the problem.
Ain't that the truth?
It
might be you.
If the common denominator is you, it's you.
Yep.
So take a look, and then don't be afraid to make adjustments. Back to, you can't just, this is who I am, this is who I've always been, and it's just what it is. That's not okay, because we have growth mindsets.
That's what we said, don't be afraid to grow, too. Some people are so afraid to grow. They think, you change, you growing. That's a good thing. You're supposed to grow, you're supposed to change. Your mind is supposed to expand. You don't suppose, you're crazy if you think the same thing that you thought
20 years ago.
Yep. That means you absolutely learned nothing about life.
Yep. Ain't that the truth?
But we come from environments, which we know, and we can move on. But that if you change, that's a problem, because then you've forgotten about where you come from. You forgot about the people, right?
Yeah.
Because you're different. You don't even you no longer resemble Joy Road.
Right.
But you know, it's still on the inside. It's still here, but
right.
Having a growth mindset.
You
versus
don't.
the fixed.
Yep. Look, I still. Somebody phone. You can turn your phone
Kind of
down.
like you can take the girl out of Detroit, but you can't take Detroit out of the girl.
Cannot take the Detroit out of the girl.
Yes.
You can definitely not. I think it's in her still. I know it's in me still. We do not forget where we came from, and I think where we came from is the reason why we are.
Yep, absolutely.
So that's that being said. Now,
Yes.
I'm trying to share this. We're on YouTube.
That's
Our
what I'm trying to
Facebook
do.
is
Share
not.
too. It does look good.
We are up on YouTube. It is up on WJZZ Cool TV on their last post, but it does not show us. It shows their screen.
Because
So
you're on Facebook still. It's on YouTube, so you gotta go to YouTube
copy the link.
or just share it.
Let me share. Okay, let's do that. But when I share it, it does that. Yours is different. See? Let's see. I know that's it, so let's see. So, I'll just share yours, Sharon. That's what I'll do. So, let's get into politics. We probably got to put a picture with it or something. We can all take a picture together at the table and then put a picture with it and share. Tuesday was election. First of all, what was the turnout in Detroit?
15%.
15%.
But
15%.
from my understanding, that's higher than what it was before the last election. But here's the thing: I was in the city of Detroit. I was going to precincts. I was going to polls, and I watched as people were being turned away from the polls. I watched as I went to Detroit City Clerk, 75 people on Jefferson at the Detroit City Clerk's office, and they go ahead and say, oh, no. You only vote here in the general election, not in the primaries. Now, I watch as people were saying, oh, well, screw this, then I'll just vote in the general. You know what? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Why couldn't they tell the people what is the job of the city clerk? Can somebody tell me what the Detroit City Clerk does? Are they not supposed to be dealing with these elections? You know you got an election coming up on August 2nd. Now you also know, a couple months down the road, you got an election coming up in November. Janice Winfrey, get your shit together.
She was too busy trying to unseat Rashida.
And how the heck, how is that
She
not...
was too busy trying to unseat Rashida.
How is that not a conflict of interest? She is running for Congress and counting the damn ballots? I mean, how is this legal?
That's where we are.
And if you and the misinformation that was going around, I went to 2 locations in Pontiac, and it is predominantly in the BIPOC areas that there's always an issue. I went into Pontiac. I have a list that I got on their website of where the polling places are. So I start going to the polling places. 2 of the locations on the website that housed 5 precincts were wrong. I went to the city clerk in Pontiac and I said, hey, what's up with this? This is what I get. First thing they say is, oh, well, you have an older phone. Now, how does my phone have anything to do with the internet? And then they show me, well, see, on our computer, it shows this, that, and the. I don't care what is on your computer. I care if I need to know where I have to go vote in Pontiac. I'm going to the city clerk's page on Google. Oh, well, that's wrong. No kidding, it's wrong. That's an IT problem. You think
No,
you can get
it's-
the IT problem fixed before the election? I mean, this was just 100% voter suppression. And while I've done polls in the past in the city of Detroit, I have never gone around to all the different precincts in the city of Detroit. And the voter suppression is a real struggle. And I had already voted. I was getting frustrated. I was getting angry because you saw that there were people there wanting to vote. And nothing there. Nothing there. Or telling them, well, you got to go to this location, you got to go to that location. Well, in the city of Detroit, where, a lot of times, what are people doing? They're taking public transport. I've taken public transit in the city of Detroit. I did that for years. The DDOT sucks. So if you got to go ahead and take 2 or 3 buses to get to wherever your polling precinct is, you're going to say the hell with it. It's hot. DDOT runs for crap. It was awful. And in my opinion,
Okay,
if
so
Janice Winfrey's gone, you'll see voter turnout.
enough
for
about
Well-
Janice Winfrey.
Well,
You go.
I've
Anna.
said this a lot of times. We have so many other factors and forces that are suppressing the vote. We cannot continuously add willful incompetence to the list. I was also out in the field on Tuesday, and of course, the city clerk forgot to send out the list of polling location changes. And fortunately, we partner with an amazing group called Michigan Voices, who they ordered signs because they were prepared for this. They ordered signs.
Oh, wow.
And the
Did
sign,
they?
Oh yeah, the sign said, if this is your polling location, and there's a blank spot for you to fill in the name and address of the location. And then it says this is now your polling location. So it gives you a before location and an after location.
Wow.
They called me and they said, will you take a sign to the old polling location and a sign to the new polling location, because the city clerk forgot to pull out the list. So I get to the old location was Detroit Innovation something building on Collingwood.
Detroit Innovation Society.
Detroit Innovation Society. That was the old polling location. The new polling location was the building right behind it, Detroit Central High School. But the way to get to it was like a maze. You had to go through this long parking lot. Then you go through the side entrance to
So
get to
you
the...
really were out then.
Yeah. The
'Cause-
side entrance to get to the gym, you had to walk through 2 gates and walk around. And I just I stopped at the new polling location first to put that sign down. And I just so happened to walk by this man and said, is this the right place? Is this the right place? Because if it's not, I'm just going home.
So we
And
have
my
a
heart's-
caller. Where are you calling from? Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Sarah. Sarah's from up north. So we will continue
I heard,
to interject the city of Detroit issues
Mhm.
as we
Mm-hmm.
get to some of these results, right? So we want
I
to get
heard
to
you were
some.
talking about voter suppression there for a second.
Yeah, but we got to get to some results, and so we'll have you just chime in because we don't got that much time. We got an hour, and some stuff happened.
Some stuff happened.
All right.
Some stuff happened. Number one thing that happened was we lost a lot of African American seats in Detroit.
In Detroit.
Number two thing that happened was African Americans split the vote in a number of races, not just the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just the 13th where the vote was split. Number three thing that happened, I need to know how many ballots were cast, period, on the Republican side, and how many were cast on the Democratic side. Because as we were going through, not just, they got it for each race, but I want to know total, because sometimes people vote in this, for this person, but won't vote in this, person, right? So as I was going through, I was seeing if, like in the contentious races, like say in Oakland County where Noah Arbit won the Democratic slot, but it's a Republican seat. How many Republicans came out to vote? Yes, he won the Democratic slot, but if more Republicans came out than Democrats to vote in that area, he needs to increase the Democratic vote. Or the Michigan Democratic Party needs to help him increase it so he can win that seat, right? Because I think it was like 22,000 Republicans came out, but it was like 15,000 Democrats came out, which means you've already lost if you cannot increase the voter turnout. So that's numbers, right? So the first race, let's just start off with number one, the governor's race. We know nobody was running against Gretchen. We got that, right? Nobody
In the
ran
party.
against Gretchen.
In the party.
In the party.
Yeah.
So she got that clean. But on the Republican side, we got Tudor Dixon who won. Comments about a Tudor Dixon going up against a Gretchen Whitmer. Honest comments.
It is a tactic by the Republican Party, and it's a very smart tactic to put up lookalikes.
It is.
But see, look, they got rid of. I would have rather Gretchen go up against James Craig than a Tudor Dixon.
So they knew that James Craig was a joke. He was in no way going to beat Gretchen.
Right.
They needed to find another pretty suburban white woman to go up against Gretchen. Same thing in Georgia with Warnock and Herschel Walker. They put up another black man
Wow.
to go up against a black man.
Because people are saying Tudor looked like Gretchen.
Now, in the
does.
13th,
What do you think, Sarah? Let's get Sarah to chime in, who is a diehard Whitmer supporter. True.
I am.
Diehard. Hard. Order the T-shirts, everything. Diehard.
So you got to look though. The Republicans seem pretty split on who
How
they
do you
wanted to run
feel?
against Whitmer.
How do you feel about How do you feel about the race with a Tudor Dixon against a Governor Gretchen Whitmer? How do you feel? What does that do for you?
I'm actually nervous to see her running against another woman. That's got me a little bit nervous, but on the same side, people need to understand Tudor Dixon does not stand for women's rights, even though she's a female. She does not, she's absolutely, complete 100% wants to ban abortion under every single circumstance. And people, I'm worried, are going to forget that because she's a woman.
I look at the whole of Michigan.
Want exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of the mother, whereas Whitmer's like, wants
Yeah, I mean,
complete,
she's definitely for
body
women's
autonomy,
rights.
or however you say it.
So I
She wants
look
complete
at
choice.
Okay, so I look at that Michigan is the home. I think, and I say this over and over again, outside of Detroit, I wouldn't even say Wayne County, outside of Detroit and some of the surrounding cities, Michigan is basically a Republican state, with the exception of some places in Oakland County. Michigan is the home of the militia.
I think we forget that.
I think
That's
because
frightening.
people don't really go outside of, and they probably do, but I think it's forgotten of that Michigan is mostly purple and red. Like purple, red. It's not really always blue. We did something amazing with the blue wave 4 years ago, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
So that's my, it's already a red wave. We've been saying over and over again, we've seen a red wave. If you go through each, not just the governor's race, okay, I understand. More Republicans came out. 2 million came out. 900. It was 2 million votes cast in a Republican governor part, right?
Yep.
Primary. It was 936
That's a problem.
ballots. Now, people are telling me it's not a problem. They're like, well,
So
I vote
let's-
for her. She has no competition.
let's
but it
articulate
shows me energy-wise. Like,
Let's-
if she's on my ballot at the top, I'm going to just scratch it in. I'm not going to skip it and be like, oh, she got this.
But let's articulate this like very slowly here. On the Republican side, the Republicans total
It's 2 million.
2 million votes were cast
Ballots.
in the Republican camp
Just the
Between-
governor's race.
between Tudor Dixon, Ryan Kelly, Ralph Rebant, Kevin Wrinkle, and Garrett
Right.
Soldano. All of those people brought out 2 million, a little over 2 million people. Gretchen brought out 936,932 voters. That's an issue because all 2 million are going to get behind Tudor.
They're going to go. And that's another thing about Republicans. We talked about that.
Yes.
The thing that we like. Because we don't like a lot. So, the thing we like is, once they set on a nominee, everybody is behind that nominee. Not like, that's not what Democrats do. They got their issues. It got to work this way. Republicans make it work. We're all behind you. Right? So, that's the issue. But this was an issue for me, but people were like, no, they knew that she had it. She didn't have any competition. That's why people didn't come out. So I really want to know if we can look up, and I'm sure we can, how many ballots total were cast, period, in the Republican Party? How many ballots total were cast in the Democratic?
And how do you get the correct data on that?
You just look it up. It has to be on the computer.
I mean, I think it looks similar to these
I would
two
think
numbers.
so, but I want it because they're saying it would be the
It looks-
naysayers are saying
It
no,
looks,
you
but
know,
it looks similar to these two numbers
because
because everybody had to vote for governor.
that's what. Look, okay, Jaren, that's my rationale. And when I got my ballot, and that's the first person up there, I'm going to vote for her, right?
Yes.
They're saying, Democrats are saying, they skipped her. Like, well, she got this shit. Let me go to the next one. I don't
We're
think-
worst enemy.
No,
I don't feel it.
voter turnout was already low. That's
I don't feel it. So I'm worried
Yeah, we should be.
because it seemed like that's the Republican way.
So let me just go back to the point that I was making about the Republicans putting up lookalikes. Now, in the 13th, I don't even think the Republicans saw Shree winning.
Oh no, they don't. That's why it's a black person there.
So they put up, what is his name? Martell?
I don't even know, but I know he black because
And
they keep saying he's a black man.
He works downtown for the city. He's a black man. He works downtown for the city. Martell Bivings is his name. Young black guy. Looks Detroit. He looks real Detroit.
Really?
Oh yeah, he looks like Detroit.
So you think because they keep saying that black people are saying they want Detroit represented by a black person. Here's a black person. You think they're trying to say, hey,
What I'm saying
we
is,
put a black person up, black people.
right. That is
We got your back.
well, it's a tactic of the
It
Republican
definitely
Party
is.
to put up lookalikes of the Democrat
But
version.
Darren, like we've been saying, it's
of
a
the
tactic.
office.
We've been saying for long. It's a tactic of the Republican Party to support black men now because black men, Democratic Party. I hope you're listening. Black men within the Democratic Party does not feel at home. Black men within the if you're not a member, you don't feel at home. If you're a member, you don't feel at home. Republicans are pretending, whether they're pretending they're doing a good job, like they support the black man, giving them a home. And slowly, they're not thinking about now. It'll be good now. But slowly, over the years, still in the black man vote. We give you a home. We support black men. We got John James. We had Chief Craig. We got this Martell. You know,
They're tokens.
who
Martell
are the
Bennington.
Democrats putting up? We got white women. I'm just going to, not we're going to vote for these white women as Democrats. But I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Who is the... John James just won his primary. He's going to be a congressman in that area over there.
I think the
They're going to... Who do you think they're going to use going around the state with Tudor Dixon? Who the hell you think about to be traveling with her? Especially in Detroit. Because his daddy is from Detroit. You think he ain't about to be in Detroit on Livernois at the Republican office saying, hey, Tudor Dixon?
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is the Democratic Party does not put enough money into the elections in the city of Detroit.
I think they put money into it. They just don't hire the right people. Like right now, it's people from other states, again, organizing Detroit, which is not a good thing.
No, it's not.
It's actually disrespectful.
Yep.
And I know they probably said they have a hard time finding employees and all that stuff. Probably, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I think under no shape, way, or form, I don't care who agrees or who don't agree. I don't think you got to hire somebody from down south to bring them up here to organize Detroit. I think we figure it out.
I'm from down south.
You live here now. And you didn't just come in for the election to leave and go back. You didn't come in and say, let me help tell y'all what to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nobody in Detroit that, you get what I, like, there is a lot of people that work for the Michigan Democratic Party that are from out of state that's working for the one campaign.
So they're coming in just for the one campaign?
Just for the one campaign, Lee.
Well, that's not, so...
That's not a good thing.
I mean, but it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon.
But...
When I was with Obama...
No, that's what they did.
Yeah.
But guess what? Detroiters always resented it, which means they don't want to volunteer. Especially, this is how you do it. If you are from out of state, it's a respect factor. Mm-hmm. You come in, the people who have already been leading that community, you work alongside of
them, right.
You don't tell me what the fuck to do. You work alongside of me.
Right.
I show you what to do. But then it's a resentful thing. You come in, they paying this person $6,000 a month or $7,000 a month, whatever the price is. I don't know now. And they are literally asking for volunteers for people who's already done the work. So that's another, that. I know this neighborhood. I can bring out the votes, but you don't know nothing about this neighborhood, and you coming in, and I'm giving you all my info, and that's another issue that they gotta try to navigate, right?
That is an issue. Issue with a number of different organizations that go ahead and bring in canvassers, organizers, field directors from out of state. You know, I've lived in the state of Michigan my entire life. I've lived a mile away from the city of Detroit. I do not know the city of Detroit. I'm not going to go in there.
So let me tell you about too. So I'm with Supermajority, which I love, y'all. We're going to have a whole show about how incredible Supermajority is. One of the organizations I am with. And so I have the great pleasure of running all of Michigan for Supermajority. And Illinois is my home, and I'm pretty sure it'll be Wisconsin too, But in another state, like say I got to drop into another state, Illinois. Who the hell you think I'm allowed to lead Illinois? People from Illinois.
Yep.
Do you get, it's not, yes, I will, you direct and do all of that stuff, but when they're contacting people, Illinois people should be contacting people. You know what I'm saying? And when I say lead Illinois, I mean, we hire them. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hire somebody from Arizona to drop into Illinois to go organize in Illinois. Mm-hmm. When I had to hire for Michigan, because I hired 6 people from Michigan right now for Supermajority, it's Michiganders who have already been doing the work that know their place that I am hiring, and we've done interviews, and yes, there's a lot of applications, but I found 3 already that do damn good work. Do you get what I'm saying?
Your application to me.
Right. Huh? Oh yeah.
I got to hire 5 people.
And that and that is the whole thing too. Because first of all, like Tashana hired me. All right. Well, if I gotta go ahead and go into the city of Detroit, all right, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna
But you
go
got
in with
ties. In the city. She know I
yeah,
have.
yeah. But the point is,
Right.
the point is though, is that you still you have ties. You think that I'm going to be able to just go in somewhere?
Yeah, I
in the
do.
city?
You different. You got to say somebody else. You got to say another white woman. You think another white woman? You different. You've
But
got
I
years
worked-
in the city.
but see,
But that's
I
what I'm
worked
saying.
on
You.
that.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
worked on that.
You've built
Yeah.
a relationship.
Yeah.
You've allowed them to lead. So we gotta. You can't put yourself in that scenario.
Yeah, but if it's another white woman coming into the city of
She
Detroit,
has to go in with somebody else.
yeah, because you're not going to go ahead and tell Tashana Gill what she needs to be doing.
And that's happened with the one campaign. Wait, hold on. So a girl called me. I think she's from Arizona, and she asked me to come. Like I'm like, you have no clue who. And I'm like, what the fuck? It was so like weird, and I was because she don't know. But a person that's from here will know already. So say if it wasn't me, and I'm not. Because I didn't feel this. I just knew she didn't know, right? And it's not a... But say if it was somebody else she really pissed off. Like, y'all got this... They'll be mad at the party. Y'all got this calling me and she don't know who the hell I am. You know, like...
Yes.
That happens. And they're already offended and don't want to work with you.
And there's been places in Detroit that they've had rallies or what have you that I needed to go to. You know what? I call up people who don't look like me and say, hey,
But
are you
fine.
busy?
They know
Can
you.
you
They
go?
like, here come Tracy. Look, I had to go pick up people to help with Mary. Let's get to we gotta get to these races. Pick up people to help. Tracy know everybody.
But
So,
see,
go.
the thing about, when I was with Obama for America, and I think there's something to be said for knowing the capacity of the area that you're trying to impact. Like Detroit is one of those areas that has a greater capacity to organize. But when I was with Obama for America, my boss was actually from Illinois. We were organizing in North Carolina. North Carolina is a place where we don't have a lot
But
of...
they allowed you.
Right. Well, we don't have a lot of people who
Right.
do this kind of work
Different.
in my area. What I will say is, if the party is getting this energy back, it's karma. Because when I was with Obama for America, when we landed, mind you, I'm in my home state. When we landed, the people who sat in party seats, right, who continuously lost elections, who did not go out and do voter registration, who barely made phone calls, barely knocked on doors, did not want to work with us because they felt threatened that we would take their seats. And this was
That's the same thing here.
This was something that happened nationally, right? I haven't talked. What's her name? That's the chair of the Michigan Democratic Party.
LaVore.
I haven't talked to LaVore. LaVore was like, "Yeah, that was my experience." I was like, "But now you're part of that."
You're part of it.
You're part of it.
Now
Now
you're literally part of it.
You're part of it.
So we'll go on to the 11 congressional district. Haley Stevens and Carl Levin.
Andy
Haley,
Levin.
I'm sorry, Andy Levin.
Carl's dead.
Sorry, yes he is. He's passed on, transition. Haley Stevens, so far 70,478 votes.
For Haley.
Andy Levin, 47,117 votes. I called this. Energy! Duh! We can see it coming! Energy! I don't care about the name in that race because everybody, and the Levins. I called it from the beginning. When I knew he was going up against her, she has an army full of women that don't play. She out-organized, she out-worked.
Mm-hmm.
He settled on name.
They said this is the first time in since the 70s that 11 has
Yeah,
not
43 years. 43 years. And you know what?
have not been in office.
Really?
It's been 40.
That's why, look, they could never, you know how people never
Good.
can see it coming? Like, they never could dream that it would ever happen. The laziness, right?
Mm-hmm.
That ain't gonna ever happen. Like, the party literally thinks, oh my God, we're not gonna lose. Guess what? We can lose. The energy is not there. How are we getting this energy? It's going to take every organization, every group, everything to come together and make this happen.
The energy that was going on
Oh, that's
with
not that.
Levin and with Levins
the
and
constituents
Stevens
was bad.
was and you know what? I'm sorry. I do believe that sometime, what goes around comes around, all right? You had the constituents, and I'm hot about this. You had the constituents, whether they were with Haley Stevens, whether they were with Andy Levin, going ahead and beating each other
Oh, they
up.
still are.
And
It's
they still
happening.
are.
It's
These-
over, and they're still pissed off.
These are two Democrats.
I think Andy and Haley. I think Andy need to lead, call everybody together, and do like a peaceful thing, because
Yep.
that's going to affect the get out to vote thing.
And,
People ain't gonna. That's going to affect that.
and I'm going to tell you right now, the constituents that are doing it are all white women. They are all women. And the misinformation, I voted for Haley. But you know what? There is absolutely no... I didn't vote for Haley because I thought Andy was doing a bad job. I voted for Haley
We're gonna
because
say the 13 for last.
they were closely aligned, and because I'm all about smashing that patriarchy. But there is absolutely no reason why. And then the people with Andy's team.
Also came with something important. What do you need? A job? He gave them a job. You got to be able to give them some, because most people are just running for a job, right? Or you find out what they need and what they want, what's their future. Or he poured into them so they can run in the future. He didn't just leave them out there, because if you just leave them out there, they're going to run. So you can't just say, get out the race. So stop. You can't just say, get out the race. It's like, it's for all, right? Because right now in Detroit, we've lost Marshall Bullock. He lost. But that wasn't a split enough. He just lost. It was just him going up against somebody else. But we also lost a seat, the 5th district, that we could have obtained, because Reggie Reg would have won if Steele Hughes was not in the race. I'm sorry, Steele. That's a fact. Natalie Price won that race. Not that I have anything against Natalie Price, but it shows that 2 black men split up the vote, and we lost that seat that could have been another seat in Detroit for an African American person. Like, again, Natalie Price may be a wonderful person, it's nothing against her. I'm just saying how the vote got split up with 2 black people. Another seat we lost. It was out in Inkster, Jules Jones' seat. It went to the guy that, he's a nice guy, Dylan. Remember we interviewed Dylan for, he applied for the endorsement for LGBT Detroit.
White guy?
He said, I never even won. I'm just running because I feel I can do better than anybody else. He won. So Alan Wilson lost.
Wait,
And the
was
guy
Dylan,
that
was Dylan the one that
Jewels was supporting, I got to find his
that's kind
name.
of cocky? Is that him?
Chris, who?
The one that's kind of cocky, or is that Alex?
No, that's not. Dylan wasn't cocky. His internet kept going out. He was a nice guy. I'm sorry. He
Yes,
was a
he
nice,
is a nice
guy.
He's a nice guy.
He won. He was a nice guy, but MEA supported him. He was knocking doors. He was raising money. But the vote was split when it came to Alan Wilson And what's the guy that was running for Jules, that Jules supported? What's his name? I don't even know his name. Young guy. He actually worked for Jules. I'm trying to find his name, guys, because I just hate forgetting his name. I can't find it. Anyway, it was split between two black men. Dylan is a white guy. He won that race. He lost that seat.
I mean, and nothing against Dylan, but I mean, the question is, can we not represent ourselves? And
but the issue is this: is math. It is math,
yeah.
and people keep thinking that, oh my God, I got a chance. It is math, people. Mathematics.
But how do you tell somebody who feel like they're a winner that they're not a winner?
No,
You can't,
so you don't know.
But what I'm saying is, when you're asking people, think about any of these races when they have like 6, 7 people. This person got 8%. This person got 2%. This person, like, you can't tell these people that they're not
that they're not gonna
winners.
win.
And you got people. Even we're talking about
I
tradition. You got
think.
people
Wait.
that do math.
This is the thing.
What you can do is like put
Homie Young strategy.
I understand that you got to get that coin though. Like people got to understand what that is.
That's what I'm about
Because
to relay
even
it out.
in church, like in church, you learn people want to be speakers.
So, Homie Young strategy. If I had a Steel Hughes and a Reggie Reg, and they're together, and they're sitting down, you do polling to see who the chance is gonna win. Reggie had the polling that it was between him and Allie. Still, I'm quite sure didn't do any polling. Still, I love you. This is facts. Nothing against you. I hate when people like this against me. This is facts. This is math. So, I know still believe I got this. I can win this. I got this. I can win this. Yes, you could have won it if you have done the right work. Yes, you knock doors where you're knocking the right doors. You get what I'm saying? It's certain doors that you're supposed to knock. You can be on one block, but it's only one door that needs to be knocked on that door in that at a certain time. You get what I'm saying? Do you have that team? I know Reggie Reg had Virgil Smith, who was very skilled in elections. Very skilled. So he know when to knock the door, what door, not door, Yeah, it's too, So you got to look at your team. You got to look realistically. And I know, like, the belief, yes, the belief to win, but also is another part. Is the whole and good of the people. Now, in order to tell Steele that you should not be in this race, and Steele, I'm just using you as an example now, a Steele or Tammy not to be in this race, what are you doing for them? Okay, we're going to set you in the future. You want to be state rep. This is what Comey used to do. Your time will be this time. What are you doing for them to prepare them to become state rep? Like I said, you can't just say, oh no, get out of the race and just go on, Jaron, go on over there and you do whatever. Because Jaron going to jump in that race and be like, forget it. I'm coming up.
Okay, so in this case, where we have, again, the Adams, where Shreve won, right?
Let's talk about the 13.
We talked about this last week, right? We're going to break all
those
votes
up. The 13 is a prime example.
We got 13 minutes.
I have a question though.
Wait, we got 13 minutes.
I wanted to hear her point. I wanted to hear her point.
Yeah,
though.
go.
Yeah.
So in this,
because she never talks. So go. Let's go.
I'm thoughtful.
Let's go.
I wanted to make it sense.
Look, everybody like this.
So though, in this case, where we're talking about the 13th century, right? We have a lot of favorites. I mean, we have people who just was out here. Who was the Comey Young to say, hey?
Well, they tried that.
But who?
Like you have Warren Evans. You have Warren Evans. But this is what they tried that. You have Warren Evans who supposedly brought some pastors and all that together, and they did an endorsement thing, right? You had the 13th that did it. You had all these groups that did it. It's still not the right. I think people need to. I think it's a way you do it by respecting people. You cannot. It's time and it's patience.
Let's bring them to one room. Let's bring them.
And I think all of them, everybody who ran, should have been put in one room to analyze themselves. No, they should have decided for themselves who could go against Shreve. And that would have been a lot of pride. But you got to lay down the pride.
Right.
You have to drop the pride.
When you look at the candidates that we had, who do you think was most likely to be the least prideful and say, you know what, had that conversation been had, who do you think would have been that person that said, you know what, I might not need to be in this race?
Right, but I think it's a lot of good people on there. That's the thing. A lot of them are really good. Like, and the thing that was crazy to me is this. The two people that I know that are strictly for grassroots and fight for people. I'm sorry, I'm about to say it. They didn't fight for them back. Rep Sherry and Sam Riddle. We know they've been standing up for black people forever. Not saying that Portia has not, but you know, like, Sherry is grassroots Detroit, standing up for everybody and everybody face, helping out anybody who needs help. Detroit didn't give that love back. Like, what the, you know what I'm saying? That makes Sam Riddle on the radio really fighting for black people, yelling for black people, arguing arguments for black people, losing relationships for black people. They like no. So that makes me think differently. You know, like I'm messed up.
Well,
you could think of nobody, could you?
No, none of them gonna really quit. But let me tell you what, I would say that I know quite a few of them. Some,
if you add all them votes together,
but listen,
they way more than what Street got.
Sure. But like, let's say Adam, because he's young, because he has a look,
Yeah, it's pretty.
he has.
What you saying? The best candidate?
No, I'm saying that having that conversation. Who is gonna? He's at 23%.
But look, Adam. Guess what? Let me tell you a little thing about Adam. I'm sorry, but I'm about to tell you. Adam endorsed Street in the state senate race. I mean, in the state rep race. So why is Street so bad now when you endorsed him the first time around? That was it. That I like Adam. Adam is good for a job to be a congressperson. But that was like, huh? He endorsed Street.
And that wasn't the only.
But in that race, I think that was the only one. So you're watching Politics with the Princess on WJGZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. You can watch us on Facebook, Twitter. No, you can't watch us on Facebook. Facebook messed up. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, Roger. Roger got to fix it. Shut up. So, I want to get to this race. Mary Kavanaugh, before we go. I'm going to talk about this for I think I got 2 minutes. We won. I was Mary Kavanaugh's and I campaign manager. Why? Why, Tashana? I watched Mary Kavanaugh she's relentless. She's strong. She was sad.
Yes.
I mean, she went through all these emotions. At one point, she's going to get out of the race. Because people were trying to be so nasty and beating her down. The girl is a damn good public servant. I say public servant. She serves the people. She has a perfect voting record. How many of them can say that? She's in a community.
She is in the community.
And it's no way that I was not standing with her. And so that win, when I post, I just had to get sleep and stuff. That win is so important to me because it shows that girl fight. She's relentless. Her strength. It wasn't just me. It was her. She had to believe. If she didn't believe, we would not, I can believe all day that she could do it. But she had to have that belief system. And she won against Vicky Barnett and Daryl Brown. And she won Livonia, Redford, and Detroit. She did not win Oakland County because that's Vicky Barnett's hometown. But what she will do is go in Oakland County every day and gets to know those constituents.
Yep.
But you met Mary Kavanaugh. Around Mary Kavanaugh. Sweet person, but a fighter, and she really cares about people. And I saw people turn their backs on her when they thought she was out for the count. LGBT Detroit opened up the arms to her. Immediately. Everybody did. Because we know. She stood up and took responsibility for anything that happened. Immediately. But the backdoor conversations that I witnessed was so heartbreaking. And it shows me how this world thinks. No grace. You got to have grace because you got to know what you did in your life when you was young. You tell me you ain't never screwed up. And to just tell her, you got to drop out, go take care of yourself. And all that. No. You got to stay in and fight this because she really cares about people, you guys. She really does the work. And so it was no way that we wasn't.
Yep.
We were not giving we were not giving it our all to make that happen. So I had to speak about that race. That's this one I feel really good about all the races. And Jules, I like Jules. Jules, my baby. He went through it too. Everybody turned their backs on him. But yeah. We had to say that. So in closing, we need to bring Comey Young rules back.
But that's the thing. And I go back to her question. who's gonna be the person? Because
Darren
Darren do it.
Totten will be the person. We gotta
gonna
figure
be
it
my
out.
And you think, and I'm gonna ask you, who out of these people was gonna listen to a Darren Totten?
I think whoever jumped in the race first, people should have left. I actually think, I mean, Sherry did. She worked her butt off, and I know you like. She worked her butt off. Portia came in at the last minute and worked her butt off too to get up that high. You know what I'm saying? The way all of that went is very shocking to me. That Sherry only got that 8% when she has given to black people. Like, that make me think about how much energy I'm giving. I'm just saying.